everyone, and welcome to another episode of Public Opinion Tea Time with your hosts, Pam and Vanetta, where we talk about what everybody is talking about. And hello, Vanetta.
Hi.
Hi. It seems like a century since we've done a tea time. I don't even remember what the last tea. I don't remember. I'm not even going to try to.
No, it hasn't been that long.
All right. Well, I think the last thing we talked, I don't even know. Maybe it was the Ketanji Brown. I don't remember, Supreme Court Justice. But at any rate, it's been a while because we've had a little bit of a break and just time has gone by. But we're going to be talking about today the baby formula shortage, and that's been all in the news. And there have been a lot of people posting and people giving their opinions. And Vanetta, I am a grandmother now. And I have a 5-month-old grandson, and my daughter breastfeeds, but she also supplements with an organic formula. And so
which is very expensive, right? Normally.
Well, this formula, though, really was not that much more expensive than the regular formulas. So she's able to actually go to the store there in Los Angeles and get it because that's where it happens to be the headquarters for this particular brand.
So she hasn't run into a problem.
She did not because she didn't have to order it. But when she went, that's when they were told, well, we're rationing now. You can only get a certain amount. But thankfully, before that, she had already gotten like 4 cans. And then, so she's okay. Plus, she's breastfeeding. Plus, the baby has just started eating, too.
So he's drinking my last.
Yeah. Right. But I feel bad for so many women. And then I really am. I can understand how some women are offended or feel bad when people say, well, why don't you just breastfeed?
I think that's a lot of nerve to make that assessment. You don't know what a person's circumstance is. Yes, I am a mother who breastfed 3. I have 3 boys, 2 of my boys. My first boy, I had some medical complications and I couldn't do it. And I could imagine if I were in this circumstance this time right now, someone to say that would only make me feel more just less than.
Because I can't imagine how anxious a mother might feel, especially when you're exclusively feeding with the formula. And like I said, it could be any number of reasons why you're not breastfeeding. Like you said,
it's your choice.
You weren't able to or it could just have been your choice. Because just think about it. What if you were a woman who had chosen not to breastfeed and they give you medication to dry up, your milk supply. So now you're suddenly with a shortage. I mean, it's not like you can just start producing milk. Especially not even the amount of milk that the baby needs. So it could be it could just, number one, be because you didn't choose to breastfeed. It could be because you're on some medication that is that you cannot breastfeed and take this medication, something like that. It could be just anything. But can you imagine just being a mother and now you're having to worry about, my baby, how am I? But they have offered some solutions. They said you can order from Canada. But
the FDA is different there. The standards that it has to meet is different. That was one article I read about that. So, I mean, you do what you have to do.
Yeah, you do what you have to do. But they were recommending, though, they said that you could get it from Canada. But I guess if everybody starts doing it, I guess the mothers in Canada are probably like, well, wait a minute now, we have babies, we got to feed our babies too.
Well, we can only hope that they could increase their production. Yeah. But what I saw that like Nestle has such a small percentage of the baby formula that they make. I was really bowled over by that. But now here's a subject that I know is controversial. As a young woman like myself, when I was a baby, my mother made her own formula. And I hear them saying, no, do not make your formula. Now, I know what you're going to say about that some babies died and I never got to meet them. But I thrived with my homemade formula.
Yeah. Well, everybody talks about that's where they get the word formula from, because it was a mixture, a certain amount of carnation milk with a certain amount of water mixed with some other stuff. But like anything else, just because you did not die doesn't necessarily mean it was the best thing for you to give your child. When I was growing up, my father used to give us half a shot of whiskey and some honey when we had a cold and a cough. But I certainly wouldn't recommend that be what people give their kids, as a cough syrup. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you used to do and people used to do, but that don't mean that's healthy. Not for a prolonged.
It's an option,
but maybe for a couple days to do that, but not for a couple of months.
Maybe not a couple of months, but I don't know. I took it the whole time I was taking formula. So all I'm saying is keep a sterile kitchen.
And there we have it, Exhibit A. Okay, this is a cautionary tale. Well, it's a good thing that we are having this discussion so that people can be like, I'm not giving my baby that homemade formula under any circumstances.
I don't even know why you talking. You took the same formula because because we were people of the same kind of economic status. Our folks did not have no formula.
I want to believe that my mother breastfed me. That's what I want to believe.
She said she didn't.
Oh, you don't know that. I think she said I was, and that's why I have the mental capabilities that I have to this.
Now, I got 3 kids and I breastfed 2 of the 3, and I can't say that the other 2 are smarter than that first. Actually, I might be the reverse if the truth of it.
I don't know, but I just know that it's just breastfeeding is not the only alternative. But they did also say that you can talk to your pediatrician, because I guess the pediatricians carry a lot of formula in their offices
that they made for sure they can get some of it. Okay, wait, how can I not make some formula when you recommended I get some breast milk from another mother? Now, if that's better than me making some formula, how do I know what her dietary habits are?
Well, they have those breastfeeding banks too, also,
right?
Which is what you're talking about. But that milk is pasteurized, just like they do cow's milk. It's pasteurized and it's clean. It's not like they just go in there and say here and they just put it in the refrigerator.
I did not know how they did it.
Yeah, I read up on that because I really found it fascinating that they have these breast milk banks. And so you can deposit, just like, how you give blood.
That was what my concern is. Everybody who donates blood, they may have circumstances where you may not.
Well, they say that they have run they clean the milk and they pasteurize it, and I'm sure they check it to make sure it doesn't have diseses.
Well, my mother used to make that formula. She used to boil it on the stove. And
there you go. But then you know what? Then I take all of that back, because you didn't tell me there was boiling involved. So I take everything I said.
It took out any bacteria, any foreign objects. I don't even understand why we're saying this. I was extremely smart and healthy.
And the operative word maybe was, but that's the operative word. But we really feel for all you mothers out there. Make sure that you are checking with all of the different alternatives. And we're going to pray that Abbott Laboratories claims that they're going to start production. However, they need to check
in 2 weeks.
But they need to make sure that the reason that they had to shut down has been rectified. They claim that wasn't the reason, but those poor 2 babies that died, and then they said they voluntarily recalled. So let's just pray that the milk supply can be fortified again. And until next time, we thank you for watching us, and we'll see you again for another episode of Public Opinion Tea Time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.